Nice and easy part of the course now with location, but this often has long mark questions attached to it. So I would have a look at past paper questions on this, but it's very easy to score full marks. So you need to understand the factors that influence where a business is located. So we'll be going over all of these areas. So firstly, some key terms: logistics, the process of buying, managing and delivering goods from the point of manufacture to the end customer. So it's the actually physically making sure where the products are and all the raw materials and keeping track of them and making sure that they're at the right place at the right time. Whereas infrastructure is, it can be quite broad actually, the definition of infrastructure. It could be the transport links, so whether you need some motorways, ports, airports, rail links, bus links. It could also be more your utilities as well, so broadband connections and how quick the speeds are, if you are connected up to fibre optic and those types of things, and utilities as well. So are you connected up to gas and electricity and water? And most places are in the UK, but there will be some remote places that it would be very hard for a business to locate because they don't have the correct infrastructure. So when we're looking at location factors, there's so many different factors that you can come up with that influence whether a location is a good location, but I've grouped them into particular sections. So we might have infrastructure reasons, so transport links for customers, transport links for employees. So can the employees get there? Can they drive there? Are there bus routes? Are there regular trains running or trams and those types of things? Is the broadband access? Is it fast speed, gas, water, electricity? Parking will be a key issue as well. It might be very close to a main motorway, but if employees find it very difficult to park, that might have an impact on whether they take the job, because parking's quite a stressful thing to go through, especially if you're in a rush in the morning. Customers as well might not stop to go to that shop if there's no parking facilities. Depends on the type of shop, but parking can be a big factor. Space as well, the physical space. Will the place be big enough to fit in the employees, the customers, the machinery? Depends on the type of business. You might have some businesses that are very small that can run from a very small space, and then you have businesses such as manufacturing businesses that need a lot of space. You're going to have financial factors to consider, so the cost of production, so renting or purchasing. We tend to find in the northwest, where I'm located, but also just generally in the north, the rent on properties is a lot cheaper than it is in the south. So that might be a factor for a business, because remember, they want to keep their costs as low as possible. Wage levels in a particular area as well. This might be why some businesses consider moving abroad, because wages might be cheaper elsewhere. Transport costs, so physically moving your supplies to the business, moving them away from the business to the customer. The cost of materials in that particular area, income levels in the area as well. Don't just think about how it affects costs, but income levels will affect how much customers are willing to pay for a product as well, and grants available, another source of finance for the business. So there may be some grants from the UK government or the EU for locating in a particular area. It might be an area where there's quite high unemployment and the government want businesses to locate there so that they employ people. There might be some more qualitative factors, so the image of the business is affected by its location. It might be about the lifestyle choice of the entrepreneur or the person that set up the business. They want to be located in a certain area. And living conditions can also have an impact. When the BBC moved from London up to Salford, Media City, there were lots of people that went with it, but there were a few news reporters in particular that didn't move with the BBC because their life was, based in London, and maybe they had children, they didn't want to uproot them. Another qualitative factor that I haven't put down there might be the skills available in that area. So if you have a manufacturing business, you might have to have a particular skill in a certain area, and it means that you can't just locate anywhere in the country because you need people with those particular skills. And then the market itself, is it close to the customers, the proximity to the customers? Is it close to suppliers? Is it close to competitors? Some businesses like to be close to their competitors because it's sort of a one-stop shop for consumers. If we think about the Trafford Centre in Manchester, it's quite good that you've got lots of different shops located near to each other because it's very convenient for customers. So they drive there and they can visit lots of different shops at the same time. If we had maybe a John Lewis in the middle of nowhere, I'm sure people that are very loyal to John Lewis and like John Lewis would go there, but you might not get as many consumers visiting as you would if they were located near to other big department stores like Selfridges, like Debenhams, like the big M&S there as well. I think that draws in a lot more customers. So what's really, really important when you're doing your answers, and especially because this could be a 9-mark question, you need to think about your analysis skills. So I've just picked one of those factors there, transport links for customers. So you need to kind of link this together, why this has an impact on the business. So better links, and I'm giving examples, bus links, train links, roads, mean more customers because it's more convenient for customers to visit, might mean more sales, more revenue, more profit. So you can see there I've got this chain of analysis leading from how do better transport links for customers have an impact on the business, and I've explained step by step how that has an impact, and that's very important for your exams to be able to do. Now, one factor here that I haven't spoken about is in so much detail is technology, but broadband would be part of technology, but also there are some businesses that are less dependent on these factors because they run internet businesses. So they don't necessarily need to be close to their customers because they're going to send the products to them via post because the customers ordered over the internet. So if we're thinking about Amazon, being close to customers doesn't matter so much. However, location factors still affect them because they need space, they need huge warehouses, and they need to be near to transport links to be able to get their supplies to the customers. So they need to be near to big motorways because there's going to be lorries loading up these products and getting them and delivering them to customers. So even with technology and internet businesses, don't be fooled into thinking that location is no longer important. It is important, it's just different factors about location are important to different types of businesses. So I think we've covered all of those aspects.